Please shall rise now to welcome His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The national anthem, please. Thank you. Let's be seated. Let me invite her, Engineer Abdullah Sule, His Excellency the Governor of Nasarawa State, to give us the opening prayers. Your Excellency, please.
Billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Oh Allah, we thank you for giving us another opportunity to witness this historic day. A day that we have prayed for, a day that we have wished, a day that we are still hoping will be the beginning of the end of energy crisis in Nigeria. Not only in Nigeria, but in Africa as a whole. Oh Allah, we thank you for the wisdom given to the leaders of this organization to overcome all these challenges. We thank you, oh Allah, for the wisdom given to our leaders of this nation and other nations around, giving them all the opportunity to overcome challenges that we have in this country. Continue to answer our prayers, oh Allah. Continue to give them more wisdom, oh Allah, because you are the Alpha and Omega. Oh Allah, you alone we worship, and you alone we ask for your forgiveness, oh Allah. Allahumma iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Allahumma iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Allahumma iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim, ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Allahumma la tada'na la dhanban illa ghafarta, wala hamman illa farajta, wala daynan illa qadaita, wala hajatan min hawaijid dunya wal akhirah illa qadaita ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Let me welcome here the chairman, the founder, and the visionary of this amazing project, Alhaji Aliko Dangote GCN. Let me welcome the presidents from sister African countries. I'd like to welcome here His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo Akwabato from Ghana. I welcome you, Your Excellency. I welcome the President of Niger, His Excellency Mohamed Bazoum. I welcome the President of Senegal, His Excellency Macky Sall. The President of Chad is represented here by his brother, also Abdul Salam Karim Debi. I welcome you. Let me welcome the Vice President-elect of Nigeria, His Excellency Kashim Shettima. I welcome you. Okay, let me also welcome here His Excellency, the President of Togo, Fore Iyasingbe. I'd like to welcome all the governors here present, but especially let me welcome the governor of Lagos State. If you ride a chopper in his heart, it will pass through. And petrochemicals. So on behalf of Lagos, on behalf of Nigeria, and in fact, on behalf of our dear continent, Africa, I welcome you to this commissioning. A lot of people have called it different names. A game changer, life changer, economy changer. It is a world-class project. Maybe I'm even wrong to call it a project. Welcome to a city. Or maybe I'm also very wrong. Welcome to a state within a state. Your Excellencies, this amazing project covering an area of 2,635 hectares, 7 times Victoria Island, is the largest train refinery in the world. Designed to do 650,000 barrels per day. In fact, the power plant alone, 435 megawatts, will power 5 states in Nigeria. This edifice will meet the needs 100% for Nigeria, and a lot will be left for export. So if we call today a day of independence, you'll be right. Independence from importation of refined products. Freedom from queuing at filling stations. Freedom of conducting night vigils at petrol stations. Today is indeed a day that brings overwhelming joy to our hearts. Today, the resource cost, that is the tag on our oil reserve, has embarked on a journey to becoming a resource blessing. Welcome, as Dangote is poised to give energy to all and empower all. I welcome you all, but to formally welcome all of us here, it's my honor and pleasure to welcome the man whose vision this is, Alhaji Aliko Dangote GCON.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to this commemoration of the commission of the Dangote Oil Refinery and Petrochemicals. Your Excellency may recall that just about a year ago, you were here to commission the 3 million tons fertilizer plant, and you graciously accepted our invitation to return to Lekki to commission the refinery and the petrochemicals, which was under construction. On behalf of the board, management, and staff of Dangote Industries, I wish to extend our deep appreciation for this great honor done to us. We're also highly honored to have with us this morning the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, the President of Togo, His Excellency Mr. Faure Nganasimbe, His Excellency the President of Senegal, Macky Sall, the President of Niger, His Excellency Mohamed Bazoum, His Excellency Mr. Abdul Karim Dabi, representing the President of Chad, His Excellency Mohamed Dabi. The President-elect, His Excellency Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Ashwaju of Nigeria, heavily represented. Your Excellencies, we thank you most sincerely for accepting our invitation, despite the rather short notice and enormous responsibilities of your offices. I would also like to extend our warm welcome to Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Honorable Idris Wase, distinguished senators that are here with us, and members of the House of Representatives here with us, His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Lagos State, and our Chief Host. Their Excellencies, Executive Governors, and Deputy and Governors-elect of our various states of the Federation that are here with us, honorable ministers here with us, the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, National Corporation Company Limited, Malam Mele Kyari, the former members of the diplomatic corps, and the Dentata family that are here. I would also like to welcome, who is here with us. I would like to welcome the former, Let me also recognize and welcome my colleagues and friends, leaders of the business community, particularly our bankers and financiers, our contractors and suppliers, all of whom have demonstrated great patience and cooperation in the course of execution of this great project. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery we're here to commission this morning is in fulfillment of our long-held dream and the product of Dangote Group's corporate vision, driven by our mission to produce what we consume and promote self-sufficiency in the basic needs of our people, while competing of our comparative and competitive advantage. Over 2 decades ago, we made the commitment to invest in the downstream petroleum sector in response to the increasing shortages of petroleum products in our country and the consequent challenges on our economy and its negative impact on the lives and livelihoods of our people. Initially, we thought to enter into the industry by acquiring the brownfield refineries under the federal government's privatization program in 2007. Regrettably, the outcome of the exercise was nation in Africa, member among economies in Africa. Your Excellency, Mr. President, this commissioning ceremony is just the beginning of a great journey, a milestone in a new and exciting trajectory for our downstream sector of Nigeria's oil and gas industry. It is our firm commitment that we will replicate this sector, what we have actually achieved in the cement and fertilizer markets, where Nigeria transited from being the largest importer of these two products to a net exporter of August this year. Beyond this, we intend to ensure that our plants are run at the highest capacity utilization and the highest efficiency to enable us to export competitively to others, especially in the areas and of 55 are dependent on imports to meet their product demand. This clear opportunity for given the African Union's commitment to the creation of an African common market through recently established Africa to our economy and our people. Beyond the constant high quality plantation, the refinery will also make available to our industries vital raw materials for a wide range of manufacturers in the plastics, pharmaceuticals, food, beverages, packaging, construction, and many other industries. Second, while the refinery operation and ancillary businesses will generate massive job opportunities, the downstream value chain will equally provide far more absorptive capacity for labor in the hundreds of thousands. Third, once our plant is fully commissioned and it is, we expect that at least 10 of it will be available for this will result in significant foreign exchange and overall operating our plant in line with international best practice, recognizing the environment. We have adopted stringent environmental health and safety policies to ensure that the refinery operates in a safe and sustainable manner. Mr. President, Mr. President, other excellencies, distinguished guests, the journey to this event was long and arduous. It could not have been possible without the support and collaboration of many parties and individuals. So permit me, Your Excellency, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, to recognize and appreciate just a few. Let me start, Your Excellency. Let me start with Your Excellency, Mr. President. Your sustained support and encouragement over the past 8 years have been, and for me personally, a source of great motivation and strength. I felt like really giving up. Your confidence and quiet words of assurance have been the difference. Mr. President, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for this encouragement and making sure that this project is possible. Those like me who have actually made Lagos our home will testify that since the beginning of the current democratic dispensation, the Lagos State, the government of Lagos State is exceptionally remarkable in its commitment and support for the private. From the tenure of the President-elect, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who established this Lekki Free Trade Zone to the incumbent governor, His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who has been most proactive in ensuring the successful execution of this project. The state government has indeed demonstrated great commitment to promoting an investment-friendly climate, which made it possible for our group to invest over $4 billion in various industries in the economy over that period. We must really thank the assured Nigeria for his incredible vision and foresight. I would like to also express our deep appreciation and gratitude to the Lagos State government and its successive governors for the resolute facilitation of this enabling environment. The Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources and its various agencies, especially the NNPC, our partner, has helped to steer this project to this successful event. Under the leadership of Mele Kyari, the NNPC has extended their full support and backing to ensure that no obstacles stand in the way of our progress. As in most mega projects, financing has been a source of many significant changes. Governor Emefiele's belief in and commitment to this project has been awesome. Without Governor Emefiele's courageous support and backing, this project would not have stood a chance of successful completion. Governor Emefiele moved mountains to ensure the success of this project. Indeed, apart from the top management of the refinery itself, no one in this gathering has visited this site more than Governor Emefiele. So we're indeed very, very grateful. Our bankers and financiers, both and offshore, have demonstrated a great deal of patience and indulgence in seeing us through many difficult times, including the COVID period. I must especially appreciate the Afrexim Bank and its president, Professor Benedict Orama, CON, whose unwavering support, encouragement, and thoughtful advice have helped us to overcome even the most daunting challenges. Professor Orama, I want to thank you not only for this project, I want to thank you for the great job you are doing for Africa as a whole. I want to also most especially acknowledge some few. I want to acknowledge Access Bank PLC and Zenith Bank PLC for going the extra mile in supporting us in this unprecedented investment. All the banks that have helped, but these two banks are at the head, Access Bank and Zenith Bank. So thank you very much. Herbert Wigwe, thank you very much. My big brother, Jim Obia. Our security agencies have actually been most proactive in helping to ensure that this project progress under the strict vigilance and concern of our national security network. In particular, the Chief of Naval Staff, who has kept the project continuously under personal attention and watch. And I must also thank the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff, for listening to us, for always assisting us when we need additional help. So thank you so much. However, I cannot close this address without appreciating the board, management, and the staff of the entire Dangote Group, whose commitment, perseverance, and hard work made today's event possible. Let me also thank our host, the communities, and their traditional rulers for their sustained patience, forbearance, and admirable willingness to work with us to make sure that we find amicable and win-win resolution to many issues we have had to deal with during the construction of this huge facility. Finally, we must not for granting us the opportunity to witness this ceremony in our lifetime. It is the major challenge of our life, and we've been able to deliver it. So we thank Almighty Allah. I want to also welcome the Senate President, Senator Ahmed Lawal, who came in. I'm sure it must have been the traffic, and also the chairman of the ruling party, which also, is somebody that has actually been very supportive. So, Your Excellency, you are very welcome. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I want to thank you for attending this commissioning of this season, and I'm really very sorry. We started a
Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together one more time for this amazing man. While he was rounding up his speech, the Senate President, His Excellency Ahmed Lawan, PhD, walked in. I welcome you, Your Excellency. And also here is the former governor of Nasarawa State and chairman of APC, His Excellency Abdullah Alamu is also here. I welcome you, sir. I welcome you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there are three things we cry for in life. Things that are lost, things that are found, and then things that are magnificent. This is magnificent. So if you shed a bit of tears of joy, you are in place. This place will provide a market worth $11 billion for Nigerian crude oil. So far, there are 33,000 Nigerians living and working here. This place has given jobs to over 40,000 Nigerians with the prospect of scaling up to 100,000. So this is the reason why I call it magnificent. So what is the story behind the refinery? Watch this short documentary.
This is the Dangote investment on the Ibejuki axis of Lagos State. An investment of over $20 billion. The biggest investment in Africa. Seated on a landmass of 2,635 hectares at the Dangote Industries Free Zone Enterprise. A project that once could only be imagined now stands firm as an economic game changer.
The 600 per day done is the largest single train, not only in Africa, in the world, and we just wanted to make a point, and which we have now, achieved.
We ourselves sometimes don't believe that we've done what you are seeing in
A landmass 7 times the size of Victoria Island, where one of the world's biggest dredging exercise occurred. 65 million cubic meters of sand dredged, costing approximately 300 million euro.
But that level, finished level, required a hell of a lot of dredging to be done in this plant. So the world's biggest dredgers were here. And for about 18 months odd, the plant was leveled up. This is probably an exercise of its own kind.
This masterpiece, the Dangote Refinery, Dangote Industries Free Zone Enterprise, Ibejuki, Lagos.
To describe this project, honestly, it takes guts, it takes a vision, and it's the vision of one man, which is absolutely extraordinary to witness it. And it's really a vision of one person. To bring this to life, it's really a wonder of the world.
A 650,000 barrel per day capacity plant, more than enough to meet Nigeria's and enough to export. Dangote Petroleum and Petrochemical Company developed a port. Constructed 2 quays with a load-bearing capacity of 25 tons per square meter to bring over dimensional cargoes close to the site directly.
And obviously we had to build port facilities which can have ro-ro facility, and especially the jetty, which can handle, because otherwise you lift a column and put on the jetty, the whole jetty will go into the sea.
Construction commenced in 2017. Over 2,570 pieces of various equipment was brought to enhance the local capacity for site works, as companies in-country were unable to handle some portions of its requirements. To add to the current capacity in Nigeria, 340 cranes were brought to support the project. The refinery project.
We have selected a license that has been through, most of them through well, but other primary license like Nippon, ExxonMobil, Jacobs for the person today, Ineos for the petrochemical part of it, for the polypropylene, and we have used the consultant from wherever was necessary to do something of this size and magnitude.
With the largest single order of 5 SPMs anywhere in the world, the refinery has a self-sufficient marine facility with the ability for freight optimization. The operation of the refinery starts with the SPM, a single-point mooring system anchored 25 kilometers into the high sea. It supplies crude to the refinery through subsea pipelines that terminates here at the Dangote trestle. The trestle pipelines then deliver the content to the crude storage tanks. There are 180 meters in. Onwards to this massive crude distillation unit. And the weight of 220 adult elephants. Installing this massive equipment was no mean feat. It was a synergy between man and machine, science and human will. Out of the crude distillation tower comes unfinished products as light gases, naphtha, kerosene, light diesel, heavy diesel, as well as atmospheric residue. This is the MS block, where the gasoline blend components are further refined. This is the mild hydrocracking unit, MHC, where the light and heavy diesel is cracked mildly in order for them to meet the premium market standard. This is the RFCC reactor regenerator being delivered. It weighs 3,000 metric tons. The weight of 1,257 farm tractors. It is the heaviest piece of refinery steel structure in the world. It took 10 hours to deliver it from the jetty to the refinery site, about 12 kilometers. The RFCC produced a very important petrochemical liquor called the standard this as the propylene unit, PPU. Which is further refined and sent to this bagging unit, ready to be bagged for supply.
Is not that much publicized, but we have a very large capacity of 900,000 metric tons per annum of polypropylene that we can do in 70 different grades according to what the market is going on.
The plant also recovers sulfur. Improving emission control is a key goal. This effluent treatment plant treats all liquid effluent streams generated within the refinery, and part of the treated effluent is reused for DM water generation within the refinery. The MS treatment plant comprises of the process effluent chain, contaminated rainwater treatment chain, sanitary effluent treatment chain, and the caustic treatment chain.
happy that Dangote was then conscious about the environmental protection. I can vouch my entire experience on this, that this is one of the most environment-friendly plant in the world.
All of these speak emphatically about the Dangote culture of excellence, efficiency, and taking cognizance of the environment.
The refinery complex generates its own power. This 435 megawatts power plant in the refinery will be able to meet the total power requirement of Ibadan Disco, an output covering the 5 states of Oyo, Ogun, Osun, Kwara, and Ekiti. Besides the polypropylene, all the products are sent to the trading facility storage. These products are dispatched to trucks via this gantry. The gantry has 98 loading arms, and it can load both 33,000 liters to 66,000 liters supply trucks. In the course of the civil works, some days 700 piles were drilled daily, and the total number of piles came to 250,000.
It's easier building in Asia or in the Middle East than building in Nigeria, because in Nigeria there's actually, or in Africa, there's no infrastructure. So when we are looking for cranes, we couldn't get cranes to even hire. When we are looking for rigs to do the piling, we ended up between stone columns and pilings that go up to about 35 meters. You're talking about 250,000 piles and stone columns.
The concrete requirement for this project is enough to pave the entire 720 kilometers of federal roads in Lagos. This refinery will be the largest single-train refinery in the world, with 800 kilotons per annum, to handle 3 billion standard cubic foot of gas per day. World-scale gas treatment stations. World-class petrochemical complex.
This prefabricated drilled and pre-cut for the pipe rack only is in excess of 150,000 tons of steel, without considering the steel that has been utilized for the storage tank, which alone is about 600,000 tons, without still involved with the building of equipment or of the pipes. The pipes alone is in excess of 3,000 kilometers, which is giving you the possibility to go probably from here to the north of Nigeria and almost coming back.
Everything in this plant, by way of size, is the first. A, it is the single largest single train refinery in the world. There is no column which can process 650,000 barrels per day in one column, first of its kind. The capacity of RFCC builds the next best by miles. This is a 10 MMTPA plant. Maximum which you have seen is 6, 7. This is way ahead of that. And to add to that, this is an RFCC. This is a lot more complex on them. You have probably one of the biggest hydrocrackers designed on a mild hydrocracking route, about upwards of 7.5 million tons capacity. One of the biggest MS blocks which you can have in the world. The towers which you see, the sizes of the furnaces, the reactor regenerator, it has touched the elastic limits of mechanical design. Beyond this, in a single train, is practically not possible. Everything big which you talk of in the world is right here.
Dangote Petroleum Refinery can meet all of Nigeria's requirement of all petroleum liquid products 100%.
Most of the times, there is queues, shortages, and selling of the fuel in the black market. And once, any item is a question of supply and demand. The more it is available in the market, the prices come less. The less it is available, the price goes up. If it is not available, the price shoots through the roof. So when you have consistent quantity of fuel available locally, because we are going to export too, so there is going to be more than enough fuel available in the country.
The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has employed over 30,000 Nigerian personnel on site, and the current ratio of Nigerians to expatriates on the project is 93% Nigerians to 7% expats. And over 600 million man-hours has been put in.
At the peak of this project, in terms of direct labor, from engineering to procurement to construction, the project employed at various stages over 150,000 people across diverse nationalities and across various continents.
A total of 900 Nigerian engineers have been trained in engineering, design of the refinery outside the country.
I came in through the graduate engineering program, and then the program is such that when you're recruited out of school, it's sent to India for hands-on training in a working refinery. The refinery is still under construction, so we have to get you in a working refinery. So we took for about 6 months, and then we're back to inculcate the skills that we've learned in that refinery, into our refinery. And now the good thing about it is coming back for someone like me and some other person that have been here, the good thing about it is coming back, meeting the construction phase. There are a lot of disciplines going on. So it's multidisciplinary skills that we get here. You can see the electrical, instrumentation, process as well. It's a great experience.
Shell plays. It's so fascinating, and I consider it a rare opportunity.
Skills transfer is huge. As you saw, a lot of the engineers went and got trained in India. That they come back and train the trainer, as they say, or train other people. And that keeps going on. It's a cascading effect of training and skills transfer. And that will be ongoing because, again, this is oil and gas, right? And it goes beyond what we see here today.
The Dangote Refinery and petrochemical plant is very serious about local content development.
In the last 6 years that we actually had execution of the project, we've had tremendous increase in employment around this corridor, and I'm sure also local suppliers have enjoyed tremendous benefit from it. They've had to employ people and generate wealth amongst themselves.
The refinery will create over 100,000 direct and indirect jobs and provide constant trainings for all its engineers. The Dangote Refinery plant is a legacy project generating $2 million per annum.
There's no doubt in our mind that if other Nigerians take it as a commitment, all right, to ensure that we were able as a nation to provide for our own needs.
As the Dangote Industries Limited continues to execute its vision, invested in the US and Nigeria. There is only a goal: to grow the biggest human capital ever seen in this part of the world.
Well, what I want to share with Nigerians is actually to show my personal gratitude and that of also the Dangote Group for all the assistance that we got from the president, from the federal government, of Nigeria, from even the president-elect, because he also set the face by creating the Lekki Free Trade Zone as part of his, dream. And also, we want to, thank most especially the, Governor Fashola, Governor Ambode, because it was also during their period that we started, and most especially Governor Sanwo-Olu, because they have given us all the assistance that we're looking for. The bankers that participated in the consortium of this, and they've been of a great help, and all of them really tried. I don't want to even pick one or so, but one of a special thing that has actually given us a lot of advice and co. I will mention just the top. All of them. They've done very well, right from Afrexim Bank, led by Orama, Access Bank, Zenith Bank, GT, all our local banks that participated. They have actually done a fantastic job. They've given us all the support that is humanly possible. And so I want to show my personal gratitude to what they've done to us. We thank all Nigerians for giving us the support, which they are too numerous to mention.
Amazing edifice. And I love the word the documentary used, that this is a legacy project. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is also beautiful. Beauty that defies definition. Beauty like the Milky Way. Beauty whose eyes stare like azure, clear as the waters of the brook. Beauty like olive and roses in the morning, beaming its color like an ultraviolet glow. This is the definition of what is here. When you behold it, the grace in your tongue will not rest. You will wax lyrical. So let me invite here for a few goodwill messages, and then we'll have the special remarks from the visiting presidents. Let me first and foremost welcome the Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC Limited, Mr. Mele Kolo Kyari.
Very good afternoon, Mr. President. Presidents of Ghana, Niger Republic, Senegal, Togo, Chad, the Vice President-elect, the distinguished Senate President, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, and may I please crave the indulgence of all of us to recognize all and with all utmost respect, products to the international markets. provide, and we are most grateful for this. Grateful for this. The reforms that we have undertaken in Nigeria's petroleum industry under the informed leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari were built around a clear set of principles that anticipate the tremendous changes that will take place in the international energy market in the decades to come. As always intended, we are committed to continue to add value here at home from the extractive industries in order to maximize benefits and value to all Nigerians. The NNPC Limited will continue to support investment in domestic refining to satisfy growing demands for refined petroleum products in both local and regional markets, as against simply exporting unprocessed crude to diminishing markets overseas. The external shocks in recent years from COVID-19 and the conflict in Europe are tangible reminders that energy is not just a business, but a vital component of national security. Reliable access to fairly priced energy is the key to domestic economic growth, job creation, sustained democracy, and a stable international order. As the world transits to cleaner sources of energy on account of climate change concerns, many developing countries across Africa and Asia are left to contend with energy poverty while managing the impact of climate change. Nigeria, Africa as a whole, produces a small amount of carbon emissions, but we profoundly suffer the consequence of the gathering climate emergency, flooding and drought, sometimes simultaneously, tensions over land use, and the list is very long. And that's why the Dangote Refinery, with the new deal that we have been building, supported by the Enabling Petroleum Act, will surely provide domestic security of supply in our country. There's no doubt about it. However, the lingering challenge of petroleum motor spirit subsidies is clearly getting out of the capacity of the state to bear, and the differentials that domestic refining will provide is insignificant and cannot compensate for the subsidies. And may I use this opportunity to say that it's very, very difficult to continue to bear subsidy bills in the excess of 400 billion naira every month. We are harnessing our resources to meet our own needs. The NNPC Limited equity holding in the gigantic asset is strategic as the supplier of last resort to the Nigerian market. We will continue to work with investors to develop hydrocarbon assets using the most modern and innovative technologies to realize the potentials of our resources and power the transition towards clean energy in the decades ahead. The scale of the ambition of the Dangote Refinery is plain to see. The vision behind it and the optimism it generates for a better future is even more exciting. We should all be proud to be part of this historic occasion, especially you, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The Group Chief Executive Officer, NNPC Limited. Our next speaker has committed over 27 years of his life to commercial banking. He is passionate about several sectors of the Nigerian economy. His interventions in agriculture, infrastructure, and education is legendary. Only recently, he tasked all his people and the bankers to at least contribute over 200 billion in non-oil exports. But as he's committed to non-oil exports, his commitment to the oil and gas sector is also legendary. He's the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Please welcome here, Mr. Godwin Emefiele.
Your Excellency,
the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, Your Excellencies, other presidents here present, President, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana, His Excellency Mohamed Bazoum of Niger Republic, His Excellency Macky Sall of Senegal, His Excellency Farouk Gnassingbé of Togo, we welcome you to Nigeria. Your Excellency, the President-elect of Nigeria, Asiwaju, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, duly represented by the Vice President-elect and my brother, Senator Kashim Shettima, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, the Speaker, duly represented by the Deputy Speaker, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and please at this point, let me just stand on already established protocol. Good morning to you all. I'm immensely delighted to be here today to witness this historic occasion, which heralds a significant accomplishment for Nigeria's foremost industrialist, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, the Dangote Group, as well as our beloved nation, Nigeria, and indeed the entire continent of Africa. Today, our history is being rewritten, and Nigeria's trajectory for greater growth and prosperity is enhanced as we inaugurate Africa's largest refinery, the Dangote Refinery, alongside its petrochemical plant. I congratulate Alhaji Aliko Dangote and his team for their uncommon tenacity and unwavering commitment in completing this project, notwithstanding various challenges that they have faced. More importantly, please permit me to congratulate and thank President Muhammadu Buhari for his unrivaled leadership, vision, and support in ensuring that this significant project, which exemplifies the president's effort towards building a more productive economy, was completed during his tenure as president. Mr. President, sir, it is on record that when the NNPC was created in 1997, you were the corporation's first chairman and shepherded them into the behemoth they are today. As Federal Commissioner of Petroleum Resources, you completed and commissioned Nigeria's wholly owned refinery in Warri in 1978, while significantly improving the readiness of the Kaduna Refinery, which was also commissioned in 1980. As president, you have not only superintended over the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, you led the efforts towards the finalization and enactment of the Petroleum Industry Act, a law that had eluded many presidents before you, sir. Your Excellency, over the last 8 years, your far-reaching vision and deep knowledge has also been instrumental in the tremendous growth of the construction phase of this refinery, for which we are here today. Mr. President, today, your name goes into our annals of history as you yet again commission the biggest single train refinery in the world in Nigeria. Your Excellencies, as you're all aware, this complex comprises a refinery, a petrochemical plant, a urea and fertilizer plant, and a subsea pipeline project. This petrochemical facility has a capacity to produce 900,000 metric tons of polypropylene per annum, while urea will be able to produce 3 million metric tons urea annually. Its flagship project, for which we are here today, the Dangote Refinery, which has the capacity to produce 650,000 barrels of crude per day, is the largest single train in the world. Given its processing capacity, this refinery is more than able to meet all of Nigeria's domestic fuel consumption, whilst the excess production will be available but also help in generating export revenue for our country. This refinery is designed to process not only Bonny Light grade of crude oil, but also process a wide range of other crude streams, including many from Africa, some Mid-Eastern streams, and the US Bonny Light. Your Excellency, in September 2013, when Alhaji Dangote announced his plans for a refinery, it was estimated to cost just about $9 billion. By 2017, when Dangote Group commenced this project, the project had escalated, and due to an array of factors, the project was eventually completed today at a total cost of $18.5 billion, with a contribution of 50% equity investment by Dangote and 50% debt finance by our banks. I'm delighted to announce, Your Excellency, that the commercial loan component of the project was financed majorly by our domestic banks, with the balance sourced from foreign banks. The Central Bank of Nigeria also partnered, as always, with Dangote in ensuring the successful completion of this project by providing over 125 billion naira to cover domestic currency requirement for the venture, while also ensuring the availability of foreign exchange to pay for the importation of some of the plants and machinery being commissioned today. Your Excellencies, we have it on good authority that the Dangote Group has paid down some portion of this commercial loan even before this commissioning today. As at today, total outstanding has dropped from over $9 billion when this project started to $2.7 billion today. Alhaji, please pardon me that I have to reveal numbers here. This reflects the astute creditworthiness and commercial capability of the group and its chairman, Alhaji Dangote. Your Excellencies, please permit me at this juncture to appreciate all the participating local Nigerian banks who did not only partner with the project through effective financing, but were keenly aware of the importance of the project to our provided immense support and exceptional understanding, even when interest and principal payments were almost overdue. They were patient with Dangote Group. Mr. President, I must thank you for your astute vision to ensure that Nigeria produces what we consume and that we consume what we produce, and this is one. This refinery and petrochemical project is a testament to your vision for Nigeria. It shows that regardless of what the world stands or the world thinks, Nigeria can be self-sufficient in all products that we consume, and at the same time, export our excess output to the rest of the world. Your Excellencies, please permit me to recall the events leading to Nigeria's eviction from the JP Morgan Index in 2017, following their pessimism of Nigeria's economic outlook and our ability to take charge of our fortunes. At that time, in 2017, we had explained the ongoing efforts to diversify our economy base through import substitution and export promotion strategies to attain sustainability and self-sufficiency. Our friends that we spoke to abroad were very skeptical, saying that Nigeria typically crafts brilliant policies that could engender diversification, but lacked the ability to fully implement them. Even when we insisted that under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, that the ongoing projects and efforts will be actively implemented to diversify the economy and make the country globally competitive, they still doubted us. Aside from enumerating our strategic efforts in agriculture and other critical sectors, a selling project that I said to a foreign investment was this project, the refinery. Your Excellencies, they doubted us. They doubted our willpower to succeed with this project. In hindsight, Your Excellency, I could appreciate their skepticism because they do not understand how a single individual, a man like Dangote, could build a refinery capable of serving an entire nation and continent. To them, our foreign friends, projects of this magnitude are usually only undertaken by sovereigns, not individuals. But like Nelson Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it is done. Today, Your Excellencies, it is with extreme delight that I say that President Mandela's quote has come true for us in Nigeria. The impossible has today become possible. I am glad that we never doubted ourselves as Nigerians and our capabilities. Under your leadership, President, this seemingly unattainable project has birthed and correspondingly under the incoming administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigeria will cease the importing petroleum products, fertilizer, and petrochemical that drained over $26 billion in foreign exchange in 2022. The self-sufficiency in refined petroleum, urea, and polypropylene, which Nigeria has attained with this project, is a strong testament to our leadership, dedication, and focus and commitment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the takeoff of this refinery comes with numerous economic benefits to Nigeria. In the first instance, it will generate thousands of direct jobs of over 135,000 permanent jobs. I'm also proud to state that electricity of about 12,000 megawatts of electricity was generated. More importantly, this project avails Nigeria with significant savings, both in terms of foreign exchange and in easing the fiscal burden of our federal government. Available data at Central Bank of Nigeria as of 2014 shows that at least 30% of the foreign exchange required to meet Nigeria's import needs went into the importation of refined petroleum products. It is instructive to note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that according to the balance of payment statistics, the cost, including the freight, of petroleum products imports into Nigeria doubled over a 5-year period from about $8.4 billion in 2017 to $16.2 billion, including an annual average of $11 billion, before rising further to $23.3 billion at the end of 2022. At this rate, the average annual cost of petroleum products import to Nigeria could reach $30 billion by 2027 if we continue to rely on petroleum imports. These figures, Your Excellencies, suggest that the refinery could engender foreign exchange savings to our country of between $25 and $13 billion annually. Aside from the nearly 30 billion foreign exchange savings from the reduction in petroleum products, the economy is projected to benefit an extra $10 billion of foreign exchange inflow annually through the export of refined products. This project will equally provide support to our federal government in its fiscal operation, as it could help to ease budget constraints of funding petroleum subsidy and engender fiscal savings. Your Excellencies, Dangote Refinery is a blessing to Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Given the favorable spillovers from this project are able to expected to spread from Nigeria to other parts of the world. It is in this regard and consistent with federal government drive to diversify the economy that the Central Bank of Nigeria, through its various development finance intervention, has continued to support critical sectors of our economy to promote a homegrown rebalancing of our economy and foremost self-sufficiency. For instance, in the last 7 years, the CBN has injected over 8 trillion naira to support in different sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, health, education, just to mention a few. Your Excellencies, before I leave, just one more minute. This is a revelation. Alhaji Dangote said that I am one person who has visited this project site more than any of his own staff. The revelation is this, sir. When this project started, we were doubted by foreigners, by our friends. Anytime we traveled abroad to discuss Nigeria's economic outlook abroad, when we used Dangote Refinery as a lifesaver and an opportunity for diversification of our economy, they doubted us. When I returned back to Lagos, I say, Aliko, are you sure this project will work? He says it will work. I say, Aliko, let's go to the project. So we go, I go around, I conduct an interview with television people, and I just tell myself, it will happen. I go back again, the same story comes up. But I'm saying, for me today, history is made in Nigeria. The credit goes to you, Mr. President. We thank you very much, and I believe that this is a long-lasting legacy that you take away as you bow out from being the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Give us this Nigeria. Of any person in direct proportion to his commitment. He believes unless you are committed to a thing, everything you are doing or saying is in the realm of promises and hopes, no plans. But he is a man of commitment. He is a surveyor. He is a management expert. He is the governor of Lagos State. Please welcome Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, President of Ghana, Togo, Senegal, Niger, and Chad, Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President-elect, who is representing my leader, the President-elect, Your Excellencies, Senate President, and other leaders that are here, my brother governors, the man of the moment, my good Egbon, of no mean feat, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, today is May 22nd, 2023. Mr. President, exactly 7 days from today, you will graciously, by the grace of Almighty Allah, be bowing down as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. President, if we don't know, you have spent 2,915 days out of 2,922 days that you have. Mr. President, you have spent 99.98% of your time. Mr. President, history will certainly judge you well. We in Lagos are happy. This is your third trip to the free trade zone in less than a year. But today is not only about you. It's about 3 short stories that I'll just quickly talk on. The first story is about a young Nigerian, 45 years ago, and you see the coincidence in the story. 45 years ago, who came to Lagos all the way from another mega city in our country, Kano, who saw the prosperity, the diversity of our country, who came with nothing, but in 45 years has built the biggest empire in the world for Africa. Lagos as a real indigene, because with all of the resources and belief that it has in our state, we cannot or truly say that you are one of us and you are indeed a detribalized Nigerian, a Nigerian that we're truly proud of. Mr. President, the second story is about another young Nigerian in 1917, because he came to Lagos in 1978. This young Nigerian too in 1978, as a military brigadier general, was saddled with the responsibility as the Commissioner for Petroleum Resources. He completed and handed over the Dangote Refinery. Today, he sits as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, handing over the biggest single-line refinery in the history that we know of mankind today. It's no sheer coincidence that these histories are coming together. The third story is also about a man that I said will be taken over from you by the grace of God in 7 days' time, who also with sheer coincidence in 2006 as the 12th governor of Lagos envisioned that this whole area should be named and set aside as a free zone. And 17 years later, what the Lekki Free Trade Zone has turned into. I, not part of the 3 stories, but I was opportune to be part of his team at that time. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the vision of 3 different people in these 3 stories. The story of Aliko Dangote, the story of our president, Muhammadu Buhari, and the story of our incoming president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. How they intertwine into the story of Nigeria, in the story of possibility, when men have a shared common vision, purpose, and they have the possibility that things can happen, things can change, and things can be prosperous for the people they are leading. Mr. President, we in Lagos are proud of you. We are indeed excited that you have thrown everything you have into it. And as you bow down, I might not have the opportunity of explaining. I might not have the opportunity of holding a mic again. I want to say to you that on behalf of all of us in Lagos, we're truly, truly, truly proud of the things that you have done for us in this country. Thank you, Mr. President, as you bow down. To our son, Alhaji Aliko Dangote. A lot of people have described you differently, but indeed, it's clear that your single-mindedness, your sole conviction that things can be different, is unparalleled. And we have demonstrated and we have seen it, because I have also come here a couple of times, and each time it's always a wow. We're indeed truly proud that you have put Nigeria and indeed Africa on that world map, in which you have done the very first that nobody, or history, will want to come and meet it up. And we're proud of your belief in your country, your belief in the youth that you are given opportunity to. And we're proud of the fact that you are a Nigerian that is completely detribalized, and you have imbibed in many ways than possible. I want to thank you and thank you again. I want to also thank, in absentia, our president-elect, who, like I said, also propelled the vision of ensuring that what we are enjoying today as governor and as Lagosians, he was also the main architect of that modern history of trajectory of Lagos. And we're hopeful and praying to come and address all of those additional that it has. Aliko Dangote, President and President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu epitomizes all of the great qualities of great leadership. They have shown to several firsts in our country, and I want to thank all of them, from all of our traditional rulers to all of the indigenous citizens that have continued to reflect the true spirit of Lagos, to be able to show hospitality and accommodation in everything that we're about. I want to thank all of the guests and all of the investments that have come to Lagos. We don't say, Your Excellencies, we don't say that you are welcome to Lagos. We say this is Lagos. It's a commercial, economic nerve center of our country. It's a place where all of us as Nigerians are truly, truly proud of, because it continues to help us stay and take off, as a nation. If we were to be a country, numbers shows that Lagos could be the 6th biggest economy in the whole of Africa. And so you are all welcome to This is Lagos. On a final note, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's about the opportunity this has provided for all the youth and young people of our country. It's about the fact that we can say to them that what these three men, our Mr. President, Alhaji Dangote, and our incoming president have done and will continue to do is about their future. It's about providing opportunity for them, because the over 150,000 or so direct and indirect jobs that will be created are not for 65-year-old and not for 55-year-old. They are jobs for our youth, our young leaders that are in their 20s and in their 30s, and them to believe that indeed Nigeria is a place for them. Nigeria considers them as an important and a veritable tool in developing and ensuring that the very best is always at us. I want to thank you all very much for coming, and I want to pray that as Aliko Dangote has done this, the conversation is how many Dangotes are we going to build? From Port Harcourt to Enugu, from Sokoto to Maiduguri, from Lagos to Abuja. We need to replicate the likes of Aliko Dangote. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State. Very quickly now, we will get into our special remarks. And the first will be coming from the President-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is hereby represented by His Excellency, the Vice President-elect, His Excellency Kashim Shettima.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, Your Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of Ghana, Your Excellency, Macky Sall, the President of Senegal, Your Excellency, Malam Mohamed Bazoum, the President of Niger Republic, Your Excellency, Mr. Faure Gnassingbé, the President of Togo, the representative of the President of Chad, the President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Deputy Speaker of the National House of Representatives, my boss, the Chairman of the party, the Chief Presiding Officer of the sixth largest economy in Africa, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, our executive governors present here, our senators, captains of industry, our royal fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I deliberately omitted mentioning the man of the moment. Charles Prescott Scott said, neither in what it gives, it pays up to suffer wrong. Comment is free, but facts are sacred. At the risk of sounding immodest, I dare put forward this claim, that in the past 100 years, a single kinetic presence in Nigeria's business firmament is none other than Alhaji Aliko Dangote. He's the phenomenal investor. He is the authentic game changer. I think for all that he was able to accomplish, he stood on the shoulders of giants. For all that I was able to accomplish, I stood on the shoulders of giants. I'm a grateful person, and for every opportunity, I will never cease to acknowledge the presence of my benefactor and mentor, Mr. Jim Obia, the founder of Zenith Bank. Today ranks without doubt as one of the greatest days in the contemporary annals of our nation's history, as we witness the commissioning of the Dangote Refinery and Petrochemicals Company. Given the huge prospects of this gigantic project, investing Nigeria's, near Africa's reliance on imported petroleum products, in generating the much needed foreign exchange, in generating a humongous quantum of jobs, and in stabilizing the Naira, it is safe to say that the Dangote Refinery will be the most consequential single project to come on stream in recent times, and is bound to have a huge impact on the growth and development of our economy, and positively influence the life and well-being of our people. I will therefore like, on behalf of the President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to heartily commend and congratulate Alhaji Aliko Dangote and the Dangote Group for not only ambitioning this significant project, but for their courage, resilience, and staying power in bringing this outstanding edifice to fruition. Nigeria, and indeed Africa, is proud of you, Alhaji Aliko Dangote. Let me use this opportunity to also praise other Nigerian entrepreneurs who have already embarked on similar projects, following Dangote's shining example, and call on others to also follow suit. I would also like to commend and congratulate the federal government. There is a saying amongst the Kanuri people of Borno that honey, you can say honey in a container might be incomplete, but you cannot say honey is bitter. Love him, hate him. This project was commenced in 2017 when President Muhammadu Buhari was at the helm of affairs in this nation. And it got completed under his stewardship. We have to acknowledge and commend him, and acknowledge and commend the government and people of Lagos State for creating enabling environment for this project to come to fruition. I wish to once again congratulate the Aliko Dangote Group for this gigantic project and also use this opportunity to assure that the incoming administration will do whatever possible to upscale and sustain the tempo of this project. I wish to once again thank you. And lastly, Africa is not all about the crisis in Sudan. Africa is not all about poverty, deprivation, and destitute. Africa is not all about insecurity. I hope the CNN, the BBCs, and the Sky News of this world will be around to give maximum coverage to this function. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellencies, now we will have very short remarks from the visiting presidents, and I would like to kick off with the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. Your Excellency.
President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, the Vice President-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President of the Senate, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Governor of Lagos State, Senators, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the President, Chief Executive of Dangote Industries, the Chairman of the ruling APC, fellow Africans, ladies and gentlemen. I've said it before, that when we think of West Africa and Africa before our individual countries, we're not just being Pan-Africanists, we're being true nationalists. Because what makes West Africa, and indeed Africa, better will make each of our individual countries better and more prosperous. This spectacular project, the Dangote Refinery and Petrochemical Complex, does exactly that, makes West Africa better and stronger. And I congratulate this distinguished patriotic son of Africa for the sheer brilliance of this initiative. The truth is that successful economies depend largely on entrepreneurs running successful businesses. We need to push vigorously in West Africa the culture of entrepreneurship so that we can grow our economies and become prosperous. There is no greater symbol of entrepreneurship in the 21st century, in West Africa and indeed in Africa, than this iconic Nigerian entrepreneur, easily the equal of the celebrated entrepreneurs of our generation, such as Musk, Gates, Page, Bezos, Zuckerberg, Ophir, and Olumide. Aliko, as we say in Ghana, Aiko, well done. We've come from far and because we are all very proud of you and your achievements. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Almighty has blessed our lands with abundant natural resources, and I believe it would be wholly unfair for the world to demand that Africa abandons the exploitation of these resources needed to finance our development and help us to cope better with the threat of climate change at a time when many countries on the continent have only just discovered them. The development and industrialization of the wealthy nations of today were also hinged on the exploitation of their natural resources. This development came at the expense of pollution and the emission of greenhouse gases. Even today, the Western world is responsible for 76% of carbon emissions, compared to 4% for Africa. I thus urge countries that have discovered crude oil in West Africa and in Africa to find ways of bringing their substantial hydrocarbon resources to production, and quickly too, especially if with the aid of modern technology, exploitation can produce less emissions than occurred in the past. Furthermore, we must add value to these resources and not export them in their raw form if we are to transition the status of countries. The effective management of these resources will depend to a large extent whether we make it or not. And I'm confident that establishments like the Dangote Refinery and Petrochemical Complex will help us realize this dream as quickly as possible. May God bless the Dangote Refinery and Petrochemical Complex, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mother Africa, and us all. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Let me welcome here the President of Niger, His Excellency Mohamed Bazoum.
Your Excellency, Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, Your Excellency's Head of State here present, Your Excellency, the Vice President elected, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, my brother Aliko Dangote, my English will not allow me to speak in English language, so I will try to speak in Hausa. Jama'a assalamu alaikum. Na yi farin ciki da Allah ya bani wannan dama na zo yau na halari sabgan na ta fara aikin da aka yi yau shekara 10. Wannan aikin ya nuna cewa Alhaji Aliko Dangote ɗan Najeriya ne kuma mai kishin ƙasar Najeriya gaba ɗaya. Mu a matsayinmu na Afirka kuma masu kishin Afirka mun yi alfaharin da wannan aikin da aka yi. Saboda tubarkalla kuɗin da aka saka nan ana iya wani abu da su cikin ba a samu matsala ba, amma aka zo aka yi wannan project wanda ana iya yi shakkun koye nasara kamar yadda gwamna na Central Bank Nigeria ya gai daga ƙetare lalle abin da yake yana da girma babba haka ana tsoron ko ba za yi nasara ba, amma sai mai kishin ƙasa wanda yana ƙamnan ƙasar shi yake irin wannan kalubalen. Alhaji Aliko Dangote mun gode maka. Ka nuna hanya, ka nuna akwai masu kishin ƙasarsu, kama akwai masu kishin Afirka gaba ɗaya, saboda alherin da yake tattare cikin wannan project ba na Najeriya kaɗai ba ne, namu ne mu duka na Afirka yankin na yamma da Afirka gaba ɗaya. Shi yasa muka zo mu taya ku murna President Buhari da duk 'yan uwanmu na Najeriya. Kai kuma Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Allah ya baka sa'a, Allah sa wannan aikin da aka yi a ci moriyar shi. Jama'a na gode.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, finally for this segment, speaking on behalf of himself and the President of Togo, I'd like to welcome here the President of Senegal, His Excellency Macky Sall.
Your Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, dear colleagues, President of the Republic of Togo, President of the Republic of Ghana, President of the Republic of Niger, and the representative of President of Chad, Your Excellency, Mr. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President-elect, Mr. Chairman of Dangote Group, dear Aliko Dangote, Mr. Governor of Lagos State, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. First of all, I would like to thank our brother, President Muhammadu Buhari, for the friendly welcome, as usual, every time we visit Nigeria. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, dear Aliko Dangote, for your kind invitation to this historic ceremony marking the commissioning of one of the largest petroleum refineries and petrochemical products in the world. Congratulations. It is with joy and pride that I have come to respond to your invitation, and I'm talking also on the name of my brother, President of Togo. During my tenure as Chairman of African Union, I have repeatedly stressed that universal access to electricity remains one of the major priorities of our continent, because more than 600 million Africans still live without electricity. Great estimate that inspire respect and admiration. Here in Nigeria, the most populous country on our continent, the Dangote Group is certainly helping to meet the challenge of universal access to electricity, to give fertilizer, and to give opportunity to industrialize our continent. For a continent that is full of enormous energy resources, it is a paradox to enlighten others while remaining. We need to produce more of our own electricity and other related products. We need to build networks and to interconnect our countries. This is how we can gradually build what I call the Africa of solutions. Through its investment across the continent, the Dangote Group has been part of this Africa of solutions for several years. This is the case in Senegal, with the Dangote Cement Senegal plant, an investment of more than $300 million, producing 1.6 million tons of cement per year. With our new prospect for oil and gas production, the Dangote Group and all Nigerian companies are always welcome in Senegal. In conclusion, I would like to warmly congratulate you and wish every success to your refinery, which is our common pride. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And while he was talking, I saw Otumba Funsho Lawal and Mr. Tony Lumelu in the crowd. I welcome the two of you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, was speaking, he made a very significant point. He said this project started in the presence of His Excellency, the President, and we are commissioning while you are still here. A major, major achievement. It's therefore my honor and pleasure to welcome here a man that brought change pregnant with opportunities to Nigeria. Please welcome the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari.
Please sit down. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, the Presidents of Ghana, Senegal, Togo, Niger, and the representative of the Chadian President, the Senate President, the President-elect represented by his vice, senators of Lagos, of governors of Lagos, and other governors here, members of the National Assembly, President and Chief Executive Officer of Dangote Group, traditional rulers here present, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here this morning or this afternoon to commission this greenfield Dangote oil refinery and petrochemical complex. I recall that just about a year ago, I was here to commission your fertilizer plant and had the opportunity to briefly inspect this refinery complex, then under construction. On that occasion, the group chairman, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, hinted to me that the refinery will also be ready for commissioning before the end of my tenure in office, and will extend the invitation for me to return to Lekki for this purpose. Thank you very much. Let me therefore congratulate Chairman, the board and management of the Dangote Group for achieving this remarkable feat. Excuse me. Thank you sincerely for the invitation. I am informed that this complex has the capacity to of crude, which will enable our country to achieve self-sufficiency in refined products and even have some surplus for export. This clearly makes this event a notable milestone for our economy, a game changer for the downstream petroleum products market, not only in Nigeria, but the entire African continent. I'm aware that this is not the first time the Dangote Group under Alhaji Aliko Dangote's leadership is putting Nigeria on the global map through his bold, visionary, and courageous investments in key industries. The group has helped to transform our economy from heavy import dependence to a net exporter in some critical industries, including cement and fertilizer. Our economy, which has been stressed for many decades by huge deficits in economic infrastructure, and over a decade of insurgency, has also been severely impacted by several external crises, including the global financial crisis, the collapse of oil prices, the coronavirus pandemic, and the Russia-Ukraine war. The consequences of these challenges constitute a severe strain on our economy, limiting government's ability to provide basic infrastructure without resorting to huge borrowings. Our government, therefore, took the decision to focus attention on creating an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive and fill the enormous gap in investments, not only in infrastructure, but also in all critical sectors. We recognize that without active participation of the private sector and a strong commitment to public-private partnership, our economy would continue to remain severely challenged and our economic growth impeded. Government, therefore, will and should continue to provide an enabling environment and encourage innovative public-private partnership in all sectors of our economy. Our administration has demonstrated its commitment to this in many areas, such as our Executive Order 007 of 2019, which facilitated the rehabilitation But to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063, Africa must come together. We must integrate our economies, eliminate barriers to trade, and energize our youthful population to scale up our productive capacity. We must create necessary conditions for our private sector to grow and partner with the public sector to accelerate economic growth across the continent. We must not allow outside powers to use some of our leaders to destabilize our economic and political trajectory. The footprints of the Dangote Group and other Nigerian entrepreneurs are popping up in increasing number of sister African countries. The presence at this event of my brothers from Ghana, Togo, and Niger and Senegal is evidence of the progress in this regard. Let me add my warm welcome and appreciation to my brothers, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana, His Excellency Faure Gnassingbé of Togo, His Excellency Mohamed Bazoum of Niger, and His Excellency Maxel of Senegal, and the representative of Chadian present. I am confident that my successor, His Excellency Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will sustain the improvement in our economic and business environment and strengthen the framework of our public partnership policies to accelerate the pace of our economic growth and development. I am happy to leave our economy in very competent hands. In closing this address, let me once congratulate the Chairman, Board of Directors, and Management of Dangote Group for his notable contribution to the industrialization of our economy and that of our continent. Let me also thank Al-Haji Aleko and his team for the opportunity to commission this extraordinary project costing, I am told, 18.5 billion United States dollars. I thank you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. Let me quickly announce that the president of the Dangote Group has some presidential gifts to His Excellency the President of Nigeria and all the visiting presidents. And this, they will deliver accordingly to all of them. And so, Your Excellencies, let me just announce that we will go on this tour in batches, the same way we will handle the photography. The first batch that will go will be His Excellency the President and the visiting presidents, the President of Aliko Dangote Group, the Governor of Lagos State, and the Vice President-elect will be the first set. The rest of us will remain on our seats. And then the second batch will be the Senate President, Deputy Speaker, APC Chairman, CBN Governor, CEO of NNPC, Governor Fayemi, all serving state governors, Mr. Femi Otedola, Professor Ben Orama, His Excellency Bukola Saraki, and Mr. Herbert Wigwe will be the second batch that will go on the visit. And so this is how we'll go with the photograph right now. Let me invite His Excellency the Senate President. His Excellency the Senate President, the Deputy Speaker, the APC Chairman, CBN Governor, CEO NNPC, Governor Fayemi, to please rise and come closer here. Mr. Herbert Wigwe, Professor Ben Orama, Mr. Femi Otedola, serving state governors. Mr. Kunle Alaki and Mr. Edwin, you can join the picture as well. So the picture is over. Can we have the national anthem now? The national anthem. lead them on the tour. The bus is outside. The rest of us, please remain on our seats. And for those that came with buses, you will go in the buses you came with. Mr. Kunle Alake, Group B, and Mr. Edwin, please, you are joining them for the tour of the facility. Mr. Kunle Alake and Mr. Edwin, you are joining them for the tour of the facility. The rest of us, let's be on our seats and allow them to go on this tour of the facility. Some of us will still go there, but remain on your seats, you'll be served lunch. For those that came here, please, as you exit, you can go to the buses that brought you.
This is the Dangote investment on the Ibeju-Lekki axis of Lagos State. An investment of over $20 billion. The biggest private investment in Africa. Seated on a landmass of 2,635 hectares at the Dangote Free Zone Enterprise. A project that once could only be imagined now stands firm as an economic game changer.
The 650,000 barrels per day that we've done is the largest single train, not only in Africa, in the world. You know, and we just wanted to make a point, and which we have now, you know, achieved.
We ourselves sometimes don't believe that we've done what you're seeing in Lekki.
The landmass 7 times the size of Victoria Island, where one of the world's biggest dredging exercise occurred. 65 million cubic meters of sand dredged, costing approximately €300 million.
But that level, finished level, required a hell of a lot of dredging to be done in this plant. So the world's biggest dredgers were here. And for about 18 months odd, the plant was leveled up. This is probably an exercise of its own kind.
This masterpiece is the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemical Plant located in Dangote Industries Free Zone Enterprise, Ibeju-Lekki, Lagos.
To describe this project, honestly, it takes guts, it takes a vision, and it's the vision of one man, which is absolutely extraordinary to witness it. And it's really a vision of one person. To bring this to life, it's really a wonder of the world.
A 650,000 barrel per day capacity plant, more than enough to meet Nigeria's petrol needs and enough to export. Dangote Petroleum and Petrochemical Company developed a port. Constructed 2 quays with a load-bearing capacity of 25 tons per square meter to bring over dimensional cargoes close to the site directly.
And obviously we had to build port facilities, and especially the jetty, which can handle, because otherwise you lift a column and put on the jetty, the whole jetty will go into the sea.
Construction commenced in 2017. Over 2,570 pieces of various equipment was brought to enhance the local capacity for site works, as companies in-country were unable to handle some portions of its requirements. To add to the current capacity in Nigeria, 340 cranes were brought to support the project. Refinery complex is a mammoth project.
We have selected a license that has been through, most of them through Honeywell, but other primary license like DuPont, ExxonMobil, Jacobs, who are the person today, INEOS for the petrochemical part of it, for the polypropylene, and we have used the consultant from wherever was necessary to do something of this size and magnitude.
With the largest single order of 5 SPMs anywhere in the world, the refinery has a self-sufficient marine facility with the ability for freight optimization. The operation of the refinery starts with the SPM, a single-point mooring system anchored 25 kilometers into the high sea. It supplies crude to the refinery through subsea pipelines that terminates here at the Dangote Trestle. The trestle pipelines then deliver the content to the crude storage tanks. There are 16 of these tanks, with each holding 120 million liters in capacity. Onwards to this massive crude distillation unit. Is the height 4-story and the weight of 320 adult elephants. Installing this massive equipment was no mean feat. Synergy in man and machine. Science and human will. Out of the crude distillation tower comes unfinished products as light gases, naphtha, kerosene, light diesel, and heavy diesel, as well as oxygen. The gasoline blended components are further refined. This is the mild hydrocracking unit, MHC, where the light and heavy diesel is cracked mildly in order for them to meet the premium market standard. This is the RFCC reactor regenerator being delivered. It weighs 3,000 metric tons. The weight of 1,257 farm tractors. It is the heaviest piece of refinery steel structure in the world. It took 10 hours to deliver it from the jetty to the refinery site, about 12 kilometers. The RFCC produces a very important petrochemical precursor called propylene. The propylene is sent to this petrochemical block, which is known as the polypropylene unit, PPU. Where it is further refined and sent to this bagging unit, ready to be bagged for supply.
takes place, where we are going to be achieving our polypropylene product that is suitable for sale. The next part from the column is the diesel range, called the diesel range. It's going to be tied to the acylation unit, where we have the product upgrade, and also to the refining unit. It's more like a treatment unit, where we're going to be removing the impurity from the diesel. So all the product from the acylation unit and unit is going to be combined together to form the gasoline blending product. This gasoline friendly product, together with the one my colleague explained, are going to be blended together to give us our final gasoline that is expected to meet the Euro 5 specification. The final product from the column is our slurry that goes directly to storage for sale. Thank you.
Your Excellency. Your Excellency, we would request
whether we are 24 hours. I say yes.
24/7, and the turnaround maintenance will be only once in 4 years.
Only once in 4 years.
So this is, yeah, Excellency, we would like you to come and
I think
start the plant.
that's where now we are going to start the
hello, 1, 2.
refinery, Your Excellency.
Sound
Today,
check. Your Excellency.
From there, now we start. Yes. Flight in which which one? Because when your refinery is working, you see the flare. So from today, the process has started. Oh, we are doing it now. Ottoman, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just inaugurate. So Mr. President has inaugurated this scheme. So this is that's the flare. So the flare now will come on.
Okay, you can see the flame, slight white ones. On the top of the yeah. The white ones. Yeah, the white ones.
Yeah, it's true, exactly. Because it's daytime.
Yeah, daytime. So all the three you can see.
All the three.
Yeah, they are on.
When we go out, we'll see it actually then.
Yes.
Yes. So.
No. Huh? Keep the flare on. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
It's not that much publicized, but we have a capacity of 900,000 metric tons per annum of propylene that we can do in 70 different grades according to the that is going on.
The plant also recovers salt through the soft cover unit, SRU. Emission control is a key goal. This effluent treatment plant treats all liquid effluent streams generated within the refinery, and part of the treated effluent is reused for DM water generation within the refinery. The effluent treatment plant comprises of the process effluent chain, contaminated rainwater treatment chain, sanitary effluent treatment chain, and the spent caustic treatment chain.
I was very happy that Dangote was more than conscious about the environmental protection. I can vouch my entire experience on this, that this is one of the most environment-friendly plant in the world.
All of these speak emphatically about the Dangote culture of excellence, efficiency, and taking cognizance of the environment.
The refinery complex generates its own power. This 435 megawatts power plant in the refinery will be able to meet the total power requirement of Ibadan Disco, an output covering the 5 states of Oyo, Ogun, Osun, Kwara, and Ekiti. Besides the polypropylene, all the products are sent to the trading facility storage. These products are dispatched to trucks via this gantry. The gantry has 98 loading arms, and it can load both 33,000 liters to 66,000 liters supply trucks. In the course of the civil works, some days 700 piles were drilled daily, and the total number of piles came to 250,000.
It is easier building a refinery in Asia or in the Middle East than building in Nigeria, because in Nigeria there's actually, or in Africa, there's no infrastructure. So when we are looking for cranes, we couldn't get cranes to even hire. When we are looking for rigs to do the piling, we ended up between stone columns and pilings that go up to about 35 meters. You're taking 250,000 piles and stone columns.
The concrete of this project is enough to pave the entire 720 kilometers of federal roads in Lagos. This refinery will be the largest single-train petroleum refinery in the world, with 838 KTPA kilotons per polypropylene plant. Largest subsea pipeline infrastructure in any country in the world to handle 3 billion standard cubic foot of gas per day. World-scale gas treatment stations. World-class petrochemical complex.
The steel structure already prefabricated, drilled and pre-cut for the pipe rack only is in excess of 150,000 tons of steel, without considering steel for the storage tank, which alone is about 600,000 tons, without mentioning the steel involved with the building of the equipment or of the pipes. The pipes alone is in excess of 3,000 kilometers, which is giving you the possibility to go probably from here to the north of Nigeria and almost coming back.
Everything in this plant, by way of size, is the first. It is the single largest single-train refinery in the world. There is no column which can process 650,000 barrels per day in one column, first of its kind. The capacity of RFCC builds the next best by miles. This is a 10 MMTPA plant. Maximum you've seen is 6, 7. This is way ahead of that. And to add to that, this is an RFCC. This is a lot more complex one. You have probably one of the biggest hydrocrackers designed on a mild hydrocracking route, about upwards of 7.5 million tons capacity. One of the biggest MS blocks which you can have in the world. Your towers which you see, the sizes of the furnaces, the reactor regenerator, it has touched the elastic limits of mechanical design. Beyond this, in a single train, is practically not possible. Everything big which you talk of in the world is right here.
Dangote Petroleum Refinery can meet all of Nigeria's requirement of all petroleum liquid products 100%.
Most of the times, there is queues, shortages, and selling of the fuel in the black market. And once, any item is a question of supply and demand. The more it is available in the market, the prices come less. The less it is available, the price goes up. If it is not available, the price shoots through the roof. So when you have consistent quantity of fuel available locally, because we are going to export too, so there is going to be more than enough fuel available in the country.
The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has employed over 30,000 Nigerian personnel on site, and the current ratio of Nigerians to expatriates on the project is 93% Nigerians to 7% expats. And over 600 million man-hours.
In terms of direct labor, from engineering to procurement to construction, the project employed at various stages over 150,000 people across diverse nationalities and across various continents.
A total of 900 Nigerian engineers are being trained in engineering, design, and design of the refinery outside the country.
I came in through the graduate engineer training program, and then the program is such that when young engineers are recruited fresh out of school, they're sent to India for hands-on training in a working refinery. The refinery is still under construction, so we have to get you in a working refinery. So we trained there for about 6 months, and then we're back to inculcate the skills that we've learned in that refinery, into our refinery. And the good thing about it is coming back for someone like me and some other person that have been here, the good thing about it is coming back, meeting the construction phase. There are a lot of disciplines going on. So it's multidisciplinary skills that we're getting. You can see the electrical, instrumentation, process as well. So it's a great experience for each and every one of us because you're not just learning your own side, you're getting to learn integration of all engineering fields.
I was part of the project execution team at the construction of the crude storage tanks. So I witnessed the foundation laying, the cable laying for the cathodic protection of the tank, the bottom plates, the erection of the shell plates. It's so fascinating, and I consider it a rare opportunity.
Skills transfer as well is huge. As you saw, a lot of the engineers went and got trained in India. That they come back and train the trainer, as they say, or train other people. And that keeps going on. It's a cascading effect of training and skills transfer. And that will be ongoing because, again, this is oil and gas, right? And it goes beyond what we see here today.
The Dangote Refinery and petrochemical plant is very serious about local content development.
In the last 6 years that we actually had execution of the project, we've had tremendous increase in employment around this corridor, and I'm sure also local suppliers have enjoyed tremendous benefit from it. They've had to employ people and generate wealth amongst themselves.
The refinery will create over 100,000 direct and indirect jobs and provide constant trainings for all its engineers. The Dangote Refinery plant is a legacy project that will see Nigeria netting $21 billion per annum.
There's no doubt in our mind that if other Nigerians take it as a commitment, all right, to ensure that we were able as a nation to provide for our own needs.
As the Dangote Industries Limited continues to execute its vision. A vision invested in the future of Nigerians and Nigeria. There is only one goal. To grow the biggest human capital ever seen in this part of the world.
Well, what I want to share with Nigerians is actually to show my personal gratitude and that of also the Dangote Group for all the assistance that we got from the president, from the federal government, of Nigeria, from even the president-elect, because he also set the face by creating the Lekki Free Trade Zone as part of his, dream. And also, we want to, thank most especially the, Governor Fashola, Governor Ambode, because it was also during their period that we started, and most especially Governor Sanwo-Olu, because they have given us all the assistance that we're looking for. The bankers that, participated in the consortium of this, and they've been of a great, help, and all of them really tried. I don't want to even pick one or so, but one of a special this that has actually given us a lot of advice and I will mention just the top, all of them, they've done very well, right from, Afrexim Bank led by Orama, Access Bank, Zenith Bank, GT, all our local banks that participated, they have actually done a fantastic job. They've given us all the support that is humanly possible. And so I want to show my personal gratitude to what they've done to us. We thank all Nigerians for giving us the support, which they are too numerous to mention.